Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Nonstop Talking with your girl here, Vivian Liu. Today I am going to be discussing the best books I read in 2024. So when I look back on my 2024 reading year, I felt like I didn't have that great of a reading year. Like, there weren't any books that I read that I feel like were exceptionally stand out. However, when I was reviewing all the stuff that I had read in preparation for this video, I realized that I rated a lot of books 4 and above. So I felt like maybe it wasn't like a great reading year, but it was decent. So from all the ones that I rated 4 and above, I picked around 13 titles to talk about in this video today. I usually do this like countdown style, but I felt like I'm just gonna make things easy for myself this year and we'll be doing it in alphabetical order. So the first book on this list is All My Sons by Arthur Miller. I read a few of Arthur Miller's plays back in high school and I liked them all. And I've never read All My Sons before, so I decided to pick up the audiobook. I listened to the full cast one and that was a definite treat. Okay, I'm just gonna read the shortened synopsis that I wrote down. Joe Keller and Herbert Deaver's company created defective airplane parts which caused the deaths of many men during the war. Deaver was sent to prison while Keller escaped punishment. There's also a kind of love triangle between Keller's 2 sons and Deaver's daughter. So I feel like some of the standouts of this, or I think Arthur Miller in general, is just really good at writing human emotions. Like, there's just something really raw and authentic in the way that he portrays like human struggles and just like trauma. I feel that at this point, now that I've read a few Arthur Miller, most of his characters are depressed. A lot of them are suicidal, and he just has a way with making his audience just really sad, like devastatingly sad. So I think he just has a great way of writing in a way to like toy with his audience's emotions. I think the climax of this was very shocking. So I would highly recommend Arthur Miller in general, but I think with this year being the year that I read All My Sons for the first time, I would recommend it, and I think it does a great job of exploring the relationship between father and son. Number 2 is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I believe this is the first paranormal romance that Ali Hazelwood has traditionally published, and if you know me from my Twilight days, I was on the wrong team. I was hashtag Team Jacob. So I feel like there will always be a part of me that just stands the werewolves, and even though this book introduced nodding to mainstream traditional audiences, and I'm kind of like, did we really need to do that? I still like really enjoyed it. At this point of Ali Hazelwood's writing career, I feel like she can do no wrong. I've read almost everything that she's published so far, and I don't think I've disliked anything to like there's some things that I enjoyed less so, but I don't think I've hated anything that she's written. Yeah, at this point I don't think she can do no wrong. I feel like the twists in this were like kind of easy, but I still had fun. I thought the chemistry was great, and I think in the end of the day, I'm still just a werewolf girly. Number 3 is Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. In Carrie Soto is Back, we follow this retired professional tennis player who decides to come out of retirement to reclaim her title, and she has like her dad as her coach, and I just thought Carrie Soto is Back is fantastic. I really enjoyed reading about Carrie Soto. I like that she's not written a way where she is supposed to be likable or like media's little darling. She's tough and she's strong. She's a hard pill to swallow, and the public might not like her. However, she is a winner. I love how tender the portrayal is of Carrie Soto's relationship with her single father. I also found the love interest and the rivalry very intriguing. I just think that at this point, Taylor Jenkins Reid to me is an author who can write very believable characters. They feel real. They feel like if you were opening like a magazine or a newspaper, these names of her characters would show up there. And I think at this moment in time, Carrie Soto, besides one book, Taylor Jenkins Reid, besides one book, can do no wrong. The story was great, the cast was diverse, and I'm looking forward to reading even more from this author. Number 4 is Dig, written by A.S. King. I think I first heard about this book on Books and Lala's YouTube channel, and it kind of just follows a group of weird teenagers. Well, this is just a weird book. So a group of teenagers in like Pennsylvania and how they kind of connect together. So like I said, this book is a weird book, and it starts off slow, but I kind of liked its weirdness, all the twists and turns, and like using nicknames for these characters. I think the general theme that's coming through right now is I like stories that feel authentic, and this book also felt like, hey, this is like a real story going on right here. And I also think it like kind of was like an amazing character study. Number 5 also has 5 in the title, and it's 5 Survived by Holly Jackson. After loving the first book in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I was excited to read more from this author, Holly Jackson. So I picked up 5 Survive, and in 5 Survive, there is a group of 6 teenagers who are trapped and held hostage in their broken down RV. I felt like I was on the edge of my seat the entire like 8-hour duration of like supposedly this crime taking place. And I just thought it was a very well written thriller for me, and the conclusion wrapped everything up very nicely. I spent a lot of my time anticipating and guessing who of the 6 would not survive. I know that some people may find this book and plot simple, but I was entertained from beginning to end. Number 6 is a twofer, and I think at this moment in time, I've read every single graphic novel that has been published by Huda Fahmy. But in 2024, I read 2 of her graphic novels, one of them being Who the F Cares, and the other one is That Can Be Arranged, a Muslim love story. Both of these graphic novels got 4 out of 5 stars, and both of them talk about the female Muslim American experience in a very cute and funny and entertaining way, and I highly recommend all the graphic novels by Huda Fahmy. Number 7 is Kim Ji-young, born 1982, written by Cho Nam-ju. So I read Almond earlier in 2024, and then I read this later, and Almond almost made the list, but I felt like because I wasn't truly satisfied with the ending, it like narrowly missed this list. I'm not gonna do like the most surprising, which is usually just books that miss my favorites list this year, but if I did, I think Almond would show up there. Anyways, back to Kim Ji-young. Wait, I'm not done explaining it yet. So why did I bring up Almond? I brought up Almond because I remember that being like one of the books that like BTS's RM recommended, and because I thought Almond was so good, I decided to check out another like book that kind of was made popular, at least in my like social media circle, by BTS's RM, and this was one of them, Kim Ji-young. I think like he read this book or was shown that he was reading this book, and that's how it became popular, at least in like my sphere of social media. This book was also read by Red Velvet's leader Irene, and I think this was the book that like got her a lot of like online hate, which was kind of crazy and kind of sad. This story follows a 30-something-year-old Korean woman who quits her full-time job to be like a full-time stay-at-home mom to care for her newborn. After this, she starts displaying some weird symptoms, and I just felt like this was a very well-written feminist novel, and I was able to relate to the main characters in some way, and just the struggle is real. Number 8 is another Taylor Jenkins Reid novel, and that is Malibu Rising. I actually read Malibu Rising first in preparation for Carrie Soto, because Carrie Soto's character shows up in Malibu Rising. You don't have to read Malibu Rising first in order to pick up Carrie Soto. I just did it because I like feeling like I followed an order, if there is an order that I created in my head. But yes, so I like them both, Carrie Soto and Malibu Rising. It's hard to say which one I like more. Good thing I'm not doing a countdown this year, and I'm just going in terms of like alphabetical order. In Malibu Rising, we follow the 4 kind of like famous Riva siblings, and every year they throw this big summer bash, and every single sibling is like struggling with their own thing and has their own secrets. Especially the eldest, Nina, she's really not looking forward to this year's big summer party. So I am seeing a theme with this year's favorite books, and that is that I like a realistic story and a good character study. And I feel like Malibu Rising delivers that on both ends. I will say I think I was hoping for a more impactful conclusion from Malibu Rising, but all in all, I think it was a great book. It entertained me, and yeah, Taylor Jenkins Reid, 2 for 2. Number 9, this is the only manga to show up on the list this year, which is maybe a little shocking, but it's Our Dining Table by Mita Ori. And so the story follows Yutaka, who like has this fear of eating in front of others. One day, these like 2 brothers ask Yutaka to like teach them how to cook delicious food, and from there just a lot of healing begins. This story moved me so much. It's just this short thing because it's like just a 1-volume manga, but it packed such like an emotional punch. It was so touching, and I think I was just blown away by that aspect. From like the slow burn relationship to the cute baby brother to the understanding father, like all the characters in this were fantastic, and I highly recommend it. Number 10 is The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy. Elle Kennedy sometimes just knocks it out of the park with her new adult ice hockey romance, and The Dixon Rule, which is the second book in, what series was it? The Campus Diary series? Yes, that's what I wrote in my notes. So this is the second book in the Campus Diary series, and it worked. It really worked, and I'm really glad because I was like about that first one. So I'm glad this second one in the series came back and like proved once again that I still do have a lot of love for Elle Kennedy. In short, Shane is Dixon's new annoying neighbor, but she needs a fake boyfriend. And I think this book just did fake dating, or like used the fake dating trope really well. The banter was a lot of fun. I was like believing in that these 2 characters were falling for each other. And also I really liked both of these main characters, and I was just rooting for them and supporting them and hoping that they will like rise above their struggles. Number 11 is The Final Curtain by Keigo Higashino. Keigo Higashino is my all-time favorite mystery detective novel writer, novelist. And the final curtain was so well done. We're following detective, or this is part of the Detective Kaga series, and it is the last book in the series. Unfortunately, not every book in the series is translated into English, but the ones that have, I've read them all. And so yes, so in this one, Detective Kaga goes to collect the ashes of his deceased mother. His mother abandoned him and his father like a long time ago, so they have like an estranged relationship. And for whatever reason, his deceased mother is like connected to a current string of murders in Tokyo. Honestly, like the weaving that was going on in all of this was just like really well done. The mystery was great. The conclusion was very satisfying. I think in the end of the day, can I just like simply state that it just ate and left no crumbs? So in 2024, I read another Keigo Higashino book, and it's number 12 and on this alphabetized list, and it's Under the Sun. I didn't expect, like, because of the titles, that they would like fall back to each other. Keigo Higashino just delivers me very solid detective novels. I read The Final Curtain earlier in the year, and then Under the Midnight Sun in the latter half of 2024. And I did see on Goodreads that is also titled Journey Under the Midnight Sun, but the audiobook that I borrowed from my library app had the title as Under the Midnight Sun. So both titles work, I guess. Anyways, although I didn't rate Under the Midnight Sun as high as The Final Curtain, I think they're still both very, very much like excellent detective novels written by Keigo Higashino. Years ago, a dead body was found in this like abandoned warehouse. Turns out he is like a pawn shop owner, and he left behind a wife and a son, and the case remained like unsolved, but Detective Sasagaki like could never let this case go for some reason. Keigo Higashino just excels at depicting complex human relations and complex human emotions. And I think he just very artistically is able to craft really strong like motives and like believable like character motivations. I guess like what I'm trying to say is the reason why his characters go down this path or like do the things that they do is just very convincing. And I just have to say, like, the character Yukiho, I have like a love and hate relationship with her. She's so manipulative, right? But like at the same time, like she herself, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but yeah, it's good. So we are on the last book of this list, and it's number 13, and it's What My Bones Know, a memoir of healing from complex trauma by Stephanie Fu. I don't want to speak too much about this, but I just have to say, like, please like read up on trigger warnings before you start this. I believe I first heard about this from Cindy's booktube channel, and that's why I picked it up. After finishing this, like, I immediately started recommending it to my coworkers, and then I found out a friend had read it, and then we had a really deep discussion topic, or like a deep discussion about it. And like, I feel that if you have the mental capacity to read this, I highly recommend it. That's it. Those are the 13 best books I read in 2024. And I will be doing the opposite, so like the worst books I read in 2024, so keep your eyes peeled for that. With that, outro time. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in my next video whenever that is. Bye.